If you have listened to this podcast or watched this podcast for any length of time, you know that I derive most of my inspiration while I'm exercising. Now, if you've heard that before, and maybe you're just an audio listener, or maybe you're just a video watcher, you go to the other platforms. If you watch on YouTube all the time, go on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and give me some stars and give me a review there. And if you're only an audio listener, I would encourage you to go and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and maybe check out a different media format. But I get my greatest source of inspiration and my greatest source of content creation when I'm on the road, when my feet are hitting pavement, and I run 4 or 5 miles a couple times a week. I lift, and I get great inspiration when I'm lifting, but I also, like, when I'm running, it's like everything opens up, and like it's like there's constant downloads, and it's really really cool to be me in those situations. And what happened was, on Sunday, which was just yesterday, I was out on a run, or yesterday when I'm recording this. So I was out on a run, and I got this ultra powerful download, and I started, like, playing with it in my mind. Do you ever do that, where you get a thought and you just start playing with it in your mind? And it's kind of like, at that point, it just becomes Play-Doh, and you get to form it and shape it and reshape it. And, I don't know, it just becomes something better than when you originally received it. And the download that I got, it was the second day in a row that I had run, and I had run about 5 miles the day before. And I started feeling like a little wobbly in the legs. It's like I had 2 long runs 2 days in a row. The humidity's starting to crank up, the heat's starting to crank up, and it's like reconditioning your body to those new climates, and the new, acclimatize, I guess is the right word to say. But I started feeling a little wobbly in the legs, and I did a check-in with myself, and I said, am I hurt, or am I injured, or am I just tired? Now, when I'm a football fan, I love watching my hometown Baltimore Ravens. I live in St. Louis, but I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland, and I follow the Baltimore Ravens. My wife Angie and I were season ticket holders when we were back in Baltimore, and we never miss a game. I mean, I think in all the years that the Ravens have been around, I've only missed a handful of games watching them on television or watching them, in person. But I remember when in watching some sports, some football, watching, it was probably Ray Lewis, when somebody was limping, and like, one of the football players said, probably Ray Lewis said, are you hurt or are you injured? There's a big difference. And what the differentiation in football between hurt and injured is, can you play or can't you? Now, when you really unpack it, and we're going to get into how this is applicable to you in a little bit, but let me set us up nicely here. When a football player is hurt, that means their body is hurting. But when they're injured, it means they're physically unable to perform. Now, when you listen to, I didn't play formal football, organized football. I did play some sandlot pickup games and lots of flag football, and almost won a championship in flag football one year, and in my youth. But the point is when you are when you're unable to perform, you got to get off the field. And when you're hurt, you can stay in the game, and it's just to keep going and work through the pain. But what a football player will tell you, and watching enough, interviews and sports documentaries, is the only time a football player, is ever truly not hurt or injured during a football season is the day that before training camp starts. And the day the training camp starts, your body starts breaking down, and it starts to get hurt. You get muscle soreness. You get, you get these little aches, and you get these pains, and you get these little, your shoulders disjointed, and they're always dealing with some hurt in their body. They're always dealing with some physical pain. But when they're on a field of play and they get injured, it's important that they get off the field as fast as possible, because first of all, they're unable to perform, but second of all, they're just risking further injury if they stay in the game injured. Now, when I was running, I did a check-in with myself. Am I tired? Am I hurt? Or am I injured? Now, there's a difference here. So, and tired is just when your body just isn't at full energetic capacity. That's it. Your body's not at full energetic capacity. You've spent some of your energy. Hurt means that your body is literally like there's some aches and pains in your body. There's some tension, some physical tension in your body. And injured means that you're unable to perform. It's probably in your best interest to stop. But I'm going to go back to one more layer all the way at the bottom. And then we're going to build this thing up. And I'm going to show you how it relates and talk to you about how it relates to your life and how you're showing up. At the very, very bottom, and this is where I was in March of 2016, after, I was 300 pounds, I was suicidal, I was drinking at toxic levels, and I had just gotten terminated from my second six-figure position in about 20 months. And my life was a big pile of shit. There was nothing good about my life. My home life was abusive. My work life was just out completely, I was just sacrificing myself for money. My marriage was in flames. My health was completely out of whack. I had no peace. I had no happiness, no joy. And I never took care of myself. I wasn't practicing any form of self-care. And where I was back in March of 2016 was at the very bottom rung. It was in a complete state of depletion. Now, here's what I want to talk to you about the state of depletion. There's 4 states that we're going to talk about: depletion, being tired, being hurt, and being injured. Knowing that the only time that you are not one of these things was before you were born. You were spirit entering the physical realm. You are a spirit living in the material world, like the Police song says. You were spirit about to enter a physical body, and that's the only time that you weren't depleted, tired, hurt, or injured. And the rest of your life, we go through our lives, we're either depleted, tired, hurt, or injured. Now, let me explain. At the very, very bottom is a state of depletion. It means when you have no more physical capacity, no more mental capacity, no more emotional capacity, you're financially upside down. It means that spiritually you're bankrupt. And it also means that you're outside of your purpose. It means that you're not serving in your intended purpose in the world. So you can say, when it comes back to if this is connecting with you and you feel like right now you are in a state of depletion, I would have you check in first and foremost with, am I serving my purpose? And am I practicing self-care? And here's a couple things for self-care. The acronym OWNER: oxygen, water, nutrition, exercise, and rest. If you're not honoring these 5 elements of your physical being, then you are not practicing radical self-care. When you saturate your body with oxygen through meditation and deep breathing, when you hydrate, and you drink half your body weight, I would recommend half your body weight in fluid ounces every day. When you get proper nutrition and only you know what fuels your body versus where you're just chasing feelings, when you're getting some exercise every day and you're breaking a sweat and you're increasing your heart rate, when you're getting proper rest, your body is going to be physically present. There might be some fatigue from time to time, and you might be hurt from time to time. Something might be hurting you. But when you honor oxygen, your oxygen intake, water, nutrition, exercise, and rest, your body, your physical container is going to have some life in it, and it's going to have the energy that it needs to carry out your purpose. Now, the question is, are you in your purpose, or are you just in a job, or are you just trying to make money, or are you sacrificing yourself for survival or for security? Because when you are in your purpose and you are honoring your body, then your mental capacity, your mental capabilities, and your emotional container, your emotional capacity, your emotional courage, they start to immediately increase as well. And when all of that, your purpose, your physical well-being, your mental clarity, your emotional courage, when all of those come into alignment, then your spiritual connectedness to the divine increases as well. And that's how you move from depletion into being tired. Now, when you are in your purpose, trust me, a lot of the times you are going to be tired because you are going to become inspired to show up. You are going to become inspired to serve. You are going to be inspired to execute and demonstrate your purpose. You are going to be inspired to create. You are going to be inspired to serve in that capacity. It's going to be like almost, I don't know, demotivating not to serve. And this creates a sense of fatigue. Not fatigue that's debilitating, but you're just going to get tired because you're going to be serving, and you're going to be serving in your purpose, and you're going to be sharing energy that you have inside. That's the difference between being depleted and being in a state of fatigue and tiredness. Is you in depletion, you have no energy, you have no vitality, you have no dynamism. In being tired, you do, and you're sharing it with the world. When you're tired, keep going and go back and practice higher levels of self-care. And when you practice higher levels of self-care, you will increase your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual capacities, and you will become less tired, but then you will spend more in your purpose, and you will also become tired as you increase your capacity, as you increase your reserves. When you are in your purpose, you will ultimately end up spending them again, thus becoming more tired. I hope this is making sense. And then there's this step above. The step above being tired is being hurt. Now, when you're running, when you are in your purpose and you are serving and you are throttled up and you are impacting the world, you are showing up, you are speaking your voice, you're speaking your purpose, you're honoring your mission, you are completely in alignment with the divine essence inside of you, and you're going ape shit in the world, and you are helping and you are serving and you are giving away your gifts and talents. You know what? Some people aren't going to like it. You're going to face some rejection. You're going to face some challenges. You're going to face some obstacles. You're going to face some things that ultimately challenge if you're going in the right direction. You're ultimately going to face some things. You're going to face some doubts. You're going to face some inadequacies and insecurities. Sometimes you're going to feel insignificant. You're going to wonder why I'm giving everything I have to give away. Why isn't anybody taking it? Why do I need to force it down people's throats? Sometimes you're not going to be seen. Sometimes you're not going to be heard. And these things create sometimes a sense of physical, mental, emotional, spiritual hurt in our mind and body. But understand that these are things for you to work through on the journey. These are not things to stop your journey because of. When you are fully serving in your purpose and you are in your inspiration and you are throttling up and you have the energy and you are just serving and you are giving and people are benefiting from it, you are going to encounter things that challenge you in a way that's going to create some sense of hurt. But these are normal challenges and obstacles. And hurt is not a reason to stop. When someone rejects you, you might feel hurt, but this is your chance to let go of the egoic part of you that got hurt, the story that got hurt. This is the reason for you to give up, the mechanism for you to give up needing to be accepted. When you encounter financial challenges, the financial ups and downs of serving in your purpose. When your bank account goes up, you might get excited. When your bank account goes down, you might get like frustrated. This is the chance to give up any identification you have with money being the destination and money being your sense of fulfillment. Money is important. Keep making it, but give up the identity and the connection and the codependent relationship that you have with money. But you are going to experience these states of hurt. But then there's a whole nother state. And that other state is being injured. Now, injured and depleted are very similar. Because if you are injured in the process of serving in your purpose, it either means that you've lost track and lost step, lost alignment with your purpose, or you've stopped practicing self-care. And something needs to be fixed. Either you need to refigure out what your next purpose is, what your purpose is, what your true destination is in alignment with your purpose. It means that maybe you've given up yourself so much to your purpose that you haven't saved anything to restore yourself. And from that, your body breaks down, your mind breaks down, your emotions break down, or maybe even your spirit breaks down. But being injured is indicative in life, not just on a sports field. And I'm not just talking about being on a sports field, but being injured means that you're out of intent, out of step with your purpose, or you're not taking care of yourself at the highest level. And I had a mentor one time says, listen, the higher you climb on the ladder, the bigger pillar you need to fall back into. The more you serve in your purpose, the more you throttle up in your purpose, and the more you encounter the challenges and obstacles, the more rejection you face, the more you show up and share your truth. And that truth is shot down because it doesn't align with somebody else's truth, and their truth is no more important than your truth, and your truth is no more important than their truth. And when you experience these things, you could experience, and you don't take care of yourself, and you don't resolve these inner conflicts in your mind and your body, and you don't take care of your body, and you don't restore your self-confidence, your self-esteem, you don't restore your sense of self-worth that's not tied to outcomes, when you don't restore your spirit, your connection to the divine, when you don't restore these things, you're going to become injured in this world. And when you become injured, if you don't get off the playing field to restore and to heal and to resolve these internal conflicts, these conflicts that you're facing, if you don't take time to reestablish your connection to your purpose, to take inventory if you're even still on your purpose, if you don't hit pause for a little bit, you keep going, you're just going to be back into depletion. And from depletion, you're not going to have anything to give, because that's when your body has no energy, your mind has no confidence, your emotions are fueled and run by fear, your spirit is broken and you feel all alone. Your purpose is so freaking confusing, and you're in such a state of confusion that you don't understand which way is up, which way is down, and which way to turn. And when you are in a state of depletion, there's nothing that could possibly benefit from you just throttling up. You must get back to the basics, understanding your purpose, practicing self-care, putting your body back together, putting your mind back together, putting your emotions back together, reconnecting to the divine, whatever that looks like for you. And then from there, when you start to rebuild that energetic connection with your body and your mind, your emotions and your purpose and your spiritual connection, you will move back up into the tired level. And from there, you have more to give. You give it, and then it's just a matter of time before you run into a wall, run into some resistance, where you get hurt. And listen, have you ever heard that you can either have comfort or growth? You can't have both. Well, that happens at the hurt level. But if you don't protect yourself, if you don't do the resolving of the conflicts, if you don't take inventory, if you're not mindful about what's going on in your body, in your mind, in your emotions, in your spirit, if you don't honor your body, if you don't restore your body, if you don't reconnect to your purpose, and you keep throttling up, you're going to hit that injured mark again. So I would encourage you to allow yourself to stay in that hurt space where your hurt turns to purpose, where your pain turns to purpose, where every time you run into a wall and an obstacle and a challenge, you let go of the stories, you let go of the beliefs, you let go of the attachments, you let go of the aversions. And from that, you grow. And that's how we turn our pain into purpose. And that's how we keep growing in our potential and in all that we have to give in this world. No one goes through this world, no matter how much they have, no matter how much they've accomplished, no one goes through this world without getting hurt and being in a constant state of hurt. Because if you're not in a state of hurt, then you're not going to be willing to love. If you're not willing to get hurt, if you're not willing to get rejected, then you're not willing to get accepted. If you're not willing to get accepted, then you're not willing to get rejected. If you're not willing to serve, then it's just a matter of time before you're going to start moving back down into the depletion range. And when you serve, trust me, it doesn't always feel awesome. Guys, I hope this was helpful. I hope this was somewhat insightful. If you would love more information about that, please, my contact information is below. Come through the website, fill out a form. Let's connect. Let's spend some time. And I'd love to see where you are and how to get you to the next level. All right. Till next week.